we owe 8.8. Ghana is now the highest when it comes to multilateral debt in Africa. We owe the most, 8.8 billion, and we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, Eurobond, which my friend mentioned, we owe Eurobond 14.9 billion, which we are not paying. The Eurobond that is due now, due in August, we haven't paid it. Mr. Speaker, we have done 17 Eurobond tranches in this country since we started doing Eurobond in President Kufuor's time. Mr. Speaker, from President Kufuor to President Mills to President Mahama, 16 years, we did 4 billion Eurobond. That's 4 of them. Mr. Speaker, under this government, we have done 12 tranches of Eurobond. 12! In 7 years, we did 4 in 16 years. Mr. Speaker, to a tune of $11 billion. This is how much we owe, and we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, let me give you a picture here. And what they've done, Mr. Speaker, sorry. This government intentionally we owe Templeton 2.5 billion, which is the first time. Mr. Speaker, from President Kufuor to President Mills to President Mahama, 16 years, we did 4 billion Eurobond. That's 4 of them. Mr. Speaker, under this government, we have done 12 tranches of Eurobond. 12! In 7 years, we did 4 in 16 years. Mr. Speaker, to a tune of $11 billion. This is how much we owe, and we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, let me give you a picture here. And what they've done, Mr. Speaker, sorry. This government intentionally did certain bonds with the intention of never paying. And let me tell you why. Mr. Speaker, Eurobonds are usually done for a period of 10 to 15 years. That's why the Eurobond done on the Kufuor was done for 10 years, 750. NDC made provision for that bond to be paid. We paid 250 before we left office. The remaining 500, we have put money in the sinking fund to pay, which they used in paying this. The one that is due, they haven't paid. Mr. Speaker, they did Eurobond in 2018. May 2018. That Eurobond is supposed to basically expire in 2048. For 30 years, instead of the 10, 15 years. Mr. Speaker, this is all the Eurobonds we've done in this country. 17. Mr. Speaker, in 2019, they did another Eurobond in some tranches for 31 years. Mr. Speaker, in 2020, one of the tranches of Eurobond that we did matures in 2061. Mr. Speaker, that's for 41 years. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, they did a Eurobond in March 2021, which is supposed to mature in 2041. That's 20 years. Mr. Speaker, they know they won't be around to pay this. And that is the reason why they've started not actually paying. Mr. Speaker, this is the situation that we are in. We have been swallowed by debt. Swallowed by debt, yet we are not paying. Yet they have written a budget here. They say they've turned the corner. But at the same time, they say they are not out of the woods yet. Mr. Speaker, if you turn the corner in the woods, you are lost. That's what this budget is. This government is completely lost. They are incompetent, their performance is abysmal, and they won't listen. They have brought all of us here. to this budget. Mr. Speaker, if this were to be a handed over note to the NDC, this is a very poor handed over note. This is the legacy of this government. This is what they are leaving behind. Mr. Speaker, you ask them what they've used the money for, they will tell you, oh, flagship programs, planting for food and jobs, 1D, 1F. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the industrial, the 1D, 1F, this is the picture of the 1D, 1F. Mr. Speaker, I'll hand this over to you. This is the picture of 1D, 1F. Ghana is the only country where the more industries we set up, they claim 169. The less we perform when it comes to industry. Mr. Speaker, the numbers here are negative. And I will tell this in. Mr. Speaker, the story is not different from planting for food and jobs. You can see it in inflation. You can see it in GDP. It tells a story. The contribution of food to GDP is been declining. When you go to inflation, the bulk of our inflation is food inflation. So what is it that this country is planting? That the more they plant, the less they harvest. The more this government plants, the less they harvest.
If there's any house captioned as August House,
Honorable members, please.
if there's any house captioned as August House in Ghana, the Parliament House stand tall. And accordingly, we need to accord this house all the needed sincerity, honesty, truth, and make sure that we set good examples for those out there, those who gave us the mandate to serve them. So when we are here presenting all these pieces of information, we shouldn't forget about the fact that we have Allah Akbar, who is handling whatever we say, in spite of the political gains we want. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that my own brother, I respect most, Honorable John Jinokor, trying to say that they care for and about teachers. A social democratic fraternity that cancelled the allowance of the poor teacher, saying that he cares about them. It is very interesting. Is it that they are toying with is it that they are joking with Ghanaians? Or they think politics, as they say, is all about communist inferior tactics and lies? Mr. Speaker, they deceive Ghanaians always by saying that we have borrowed so much. I hold this document, 2016 Financial Budget Statement, page 37, under Eurobond, $1 billion. $1 billion. $1 billion. Mr. Speaker, dollars, not cities, to be paid in 2028 and 2029. So they talk as if current debt portfolio is all about MPP government. Deception killed the youngest prophet in the Bible. And Ghanaians, I don't think 2024 Ghanaians prefer Okada policy to free education. It's not possible. How many of them will allow their child to drive Okada after school? And this is their flagship policy for Ghanaians. Ghanaians are there, they are watching and listening. We all know there's hardship. And it is global. Mr. Speaker, I don't want them to take me off what I want to do. NABCO's functional life was 3 years. If they care to know, how many years has it been in existence? So it's not about lies and deception. Mr. Speaker, I want to go straight. Anywhere in the world today, budget statements focus principally on the fiscal space. Fiscal space because 2022 that we saw post-COVID impact. The globe's debt to GDP, as time to be corrected, was around 258%. So if my brother quotes our net to 2%, then we are a giant economy. The way it grew, negative 3.3, we grew 0.4. As I'm talking to you today, we are growing, the first year we grew 3.1. What's projection for next year, Mr. Speaker, it is about 1.4, less than 2%. Ours is 2.8. This is how you manage the economy. They are talking as if we are in a worst case scenario. They should check their own budget. 2015, their debt to GDP was about 6.9%. They should check. We have no COVID situation, we have no Russia, whatever situation. The world's inflation rate was not over 200%. If NDC government had been in power under this global situation, even the youngest child in Ghana here, the richest family, would have gone through hunger and starvation. They have no economic policy direction. Whether they adopt expansion fiscal policy or contractionary, I want to ask them. A country that your debt to GDP went as high as he was talking about, 92, and we've been able to reduce it to 66.4. Any honest person will love this government. Reducing inflationary rate from about 50% to about 33% as I'm talking to you now. In fact, the NDC government led economic growth of 3.4 when we had no COVID. Mr. Speaker, they are saying that we are taxing Ghanaians. I have the document with me here. Between 2014 and 2016, I listed them some time ago. I will not repeat it. Tax items they increase or introduce 26. They don't even understand how to manage the taxation policy. I want to tell them today it is a calibrated policy management strategy that we use. When your debt to GDP is so high, you rather leverage domestically generated revenue. And that's what this government we know how to do best. In spite of all these situations, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask them, how do we manage our fiscal space? They should go and read the PFM Act 2016, Act 921, Section 1, that describes the objective of a PFM Act. We need to do so, aligning them to the macroeconomic and the fiscal framework. So we as a government, that is what 2017, taxes we reduced or we took away amounted to about 17, including in the 2016 budget, the same year, it was 7.3. Can you trust the same people whose budget, 2 different years, give different figures? You cannot trust this year. I've got the documents here. You can come and take. Mr. Speaker, the fact of the matter is that we are not perfect as a government. But let me tell my brothers, when it comes to the economic management of this country, historically, at present and in the future, NDC is like a kiosk. You know, we have courses, 2 weeks, 6 months, we get certificate. We are like KNUST in Lagos. You can't compare them to us. They are on different page. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Doctor, just a minute. I can see the minority leader on his feet. Yes, minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, from the onset, the understanding is that you can come under point of order if you recognize that there's factual inaccuracy stated. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Deputy Minister responsible for trade and industry is grossly misleading this House. Mr. Speaker, I say this for a simple reason that he's forgetting to realize that the GDP in question were rebased, and the numbers he's churning out are the ones that were not rebased before. Mr. Speaker, the GDP changed before rebase and after rebase. And so I want him, and I challenge him, to bring us these 2 numbers, before rebase and after rebase. And he will realize that the official document, the budget statement that was presented to this House in 2013 and 2014 made reference to the rebase numbers. His numbers are not the rebase numbers. And so he cannot say the NDC is providing 2 different economic numbers. So, Speaker, this is a grave matter. It's a very important matter that I cannot allow this to go. Because, Mr. Speaker, the fact remains that the GDP then were rebased, and the numbers he's giving out are the non-rebased numbers, for the record. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
My learned brother, that I'm in the same academic graduation with. It doesn't matter. Mr. Speaker, I thought he was going to tell us that under the rebased scheme, this is the figure. And otherwise, he couldn't. He is asking me. I'm not a lawyer, but I learned they say that he who alleges. Mr. Speaker, what he's saying is a fallacy. He's confused. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I did say it. Mr. Speaker, look at it. This is a written, tangible, credible evidence, a material evidence. This is what we talk about materiality, facts. He is lying to Ghanaians. Put that aside. Mr. Speaker, talking about GDP, there were certain figures that I got confused. With the exception of 2011, that because of the jam establishment of this oil sector thing, that we got about 15% check. The following year, it reduced to 7.9. The following year, 7.6. The following year, 4.1. The following year, 4.0. Then 2016, 3.4. Even when we had no economy, the whole economic growth of Ghana was going down as if it was being chased by a bazooka. They have no idea. They don't even understand it. Mr. Speaker, let me explain this to them. I want to ask them this question, because I believe in the NDC, apart from the fact that they display intellectual dishonesty, apart from the fact that they display ego trips. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask them this question to answer Ghanaians. When your fiscal space, whose key elements in terms of definitional elements are 1, projects and programs, 2, what you finance them with, either debt financing or revenue generation. You say we shouldn't borrow, we agree. You say we shouldn't take taxes, we agree. They should tell us the third financing option. Then they will tell you reduce your government size. I agree. By how much? Against their obligations. They don't even understand these things. The problem with the NDC is that they are supposed to accept the fact that when it comes to the economic management, we are their seniors. We are far superior. In fact, if COVID had happened and the NDC, Mr. Speaker, I'm 100% sure in your hometown by now, nobody will believe you. They don't know what they are doing. They are confused. And now they are even saying that 24-hour and then they not that they come out with any policy. I am advising them today, Mr. Speaker, put that aside. The reason this government is the best government is that, Mr. Speaker, a government that understands the fact that I need to cut down my expenditure. Go and check 2023. Our expenditure target and then the actuals had difference of positive 14.something%. They should go and check. From 121 billion, thereabout, we did 104 billion. This illustrates, without any ambiguity and debate, that we have a serious government that understands cost control, to consolidate, to restore, to stabilize the economy. They don't know all these facts.
I want to engage Honorable Ayariga further on his petition so that if you so desire, tomorrow we may make progress on his petition after we're done with the debate. So, Mr. Speaker, as you have pronounced an adjournment of today's proceedings, we suggest, let me finish, then you can rise. Mr. Speaker, you've already adjourned the House, and you said, you directed that leadership be engaged on this matter. Ato has spoken. We are saying that Dr. Kesel Ato Forson has spoken. The two of them are supposed to engage. It is my instructions from the majority leader that the issues to be engaged on have not been engaged on yet. Therefore, we place the matter on ice and deal with it. It's a petition from Ghanaians, and we have no hesitation in supporting it. But let us engage as directed by Mr. Speaker.
2016 budget, the same year, it was 7.3. Can you trust? 2016 budget, the same year, it was 7.3. Can you trust the same people who...
From the minority front bench, if they want to reduce this debate to the past Mahama and the future Bawumia, they should say so. We are ready for you. But all these attacks, you have no focus on this budget. You want to attack Bawumia, bring it on. We have your Mahama. Bring your Mahama on. We'll take you on. Bawumia represent the future. You don't know that? Bawumia represent the future. What did your Mahama do? We are waiting for all of you. Mr. Speaker, I don't understand. We are waiting for you. What did you do in your 8 years? What did you do in your 8 years? Kujo is ready to debate. You will hear him, you will sit down and hear him. You will see what he will tell you. What did you do in your 8 years? What did your Mahama do? What did your Mahama do? You want to compare your Mahama to Bawumia, the future of Ghana? We shall see. We're ready for you. Mr. Speaker, let's leave them to the past.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to second this motion. And I rise to second the motion ably moved by the Minister responsible for Finance last week on Wednesday, the 15th of November 2023, that this Honorable House approves the economic policy for 2024 and approves the budget for 2024 as well. Speaker, in so doing, let me commend the team from the Ministry of Finance that spent some time with us over the weekend explaining to members the details of the budget and economic policy, the rationale, and helping colleagues have a deep understanding of what has informed this policy. Also want to commend the Parliamentary Service, the clerk and the team, Mr. Speaker himself, for the innovative way in which this year's workshop was structured. It was very helpful in helping get a deep understanding, and we pray that it may continue in this dimension. Mr. Speaker, my submission this morning in seconding the motion is separated in three major parts. First, I want to speak to the economic policy that is outlined from pages 1 to 164 of the document that we received. And then I'll speak to the budget proper from page 165 ongoing, including the fiscal tables there. And then, Mr. Speaker, there are some persons who are responsible, in my view, for ensuring that the budget performs and that it translates into the economic policy goals. And I'll be taking some time to call these persons out and ask that we all focus our attention on them to ensure that we succeed. So, Mr. Speaker, let me start with the economic policy. And in dealing with the economic policy, Mr. Speaker, it's important to understand the context within which this economic policy has been formulated. We are putting this economic policy before Parliament at a time when the global economy is challenged and the Ghanaian economy is challenged as well. We are putting it before Parliament at a time when there's a high cost of living all over the world and in Ghana as well. If you switch on your television, one of the slides you will find from CNN, Al Jazeera, BBC is the cost of living crisis and how various countries are responding to it. In America, they've passed the Inflation Reduction Act to respond to this cost of living challenge. In the UK, they tried the energy price cap guarantee to try and respond to it. So
this is basically an economic garbage, this budget. It does not inspire anyone. There is nothing in here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you the external debt that we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, we owe the Chinese 1.9 billion, which we are not paying. We owe the Paris Club 2 billion, which we are not paying. We owe the Paris Club 3.8 billion, which we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, we owe Templeton 2.5 billion, which we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, with multilateral debt, we owe 8.8. Ghana is not the highest when it comes to multilateral debt in Africa. We owe the most, 8.8 billion, and we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, Eurobond, which my friend mentioned, we owe Eurobond 14.9 billion, which we are not paying. The Eurobond that is due now, due in August, we haven't paid it. Mr. Speaker, we have done 17 Eurobond tranches in this country since we started doing Eurobond in President Kufuor's time. Mr. Speaker, from President Kufuor to President Mills to President Mahama, 16 years, we did 4 billion Eurobond. That's one of them. Mr. Speaker, under this government, we have done 12 tranches of Eurobond. 12! In 7 years. We did 4 in 16 years. Mr. Speaker, to a tune of $11 billion. This is how much we owe, and we are not paying. Mr. Speaker, let me give you a picture here. And what they've done, Mr. Speaker, sorry. This government intentionally did certain bonds with the intention of never paying. And let me tell you why. Mr. Speaker, Euro bonds are usually done for a period of 10 to 15 years. That's why the Euro bond done on the Kufuor was done for 10 years, 750. NDC made provision for that bond to be paid. We paid 250 before we left office. The remaining 500, we have put money in the sinking fund to pay, which they used in paying this. The one that is due, they haven't paid. Mr. Speaker, they did Euro bond in 2018. May 2018. That Euro bond is supposed to basically expire in 2048. For 30 years. Instead of the 10, 15 years. Mr. Speaker, this is all the Euro bonds we've done in this country. 17. Mr. Speaker, in 2019, they did another Euro bond in some tranches for 31 years. Mr. Speaker, in 2020, one of the tranches of Euro bond that we did matures in 2061. Mr. Speaker, that's for 41 years. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, they did a Euro bond in March 2021, which is supposed to mature in 2041. That's 20 years. Mr. Speaker, they know they won't be around to pay this. And that is the reason why they've started not actually paying. Mr. Speaker, this is the situation that we are in. We have been swallowed by debt. Swallowed by debt, yet we are not paying. Yet they have written a budget here. They say they've turned the corner. But at the same time, they say they are not out of the woods yet. Mr. Speaker, if you turn the corner in the woods, you are lost. That's what this budget is. This government is completely lost. They are incompetent, their performances are abysmal, and they won't listen. They have brought all of us here to this budget. Mr. Speaker, if this were to be a handing over load to the NDC, this is a very poor handing over load. This is the legacy of this government. This is what they are leaving behind. Mr. Speaker, you ask them what they've used the money for, they will tell you, oh, flagship programs, pledging for food and jobs, 1D, 1F. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the industrial, the 1D, 1F, this is the picture of the 1D, 1F. Mr. Speaker, and I'll hand this over to you. This is the picture of 1D, 1F. Ghana is the only country where the more industries we set up, they claim 169. The less we perform when it comes to industry. Mr. Speaker, the numbers here are negative. And I will tell this in. Mr. Speaker, the story is not different from planting for food and job. You can see it in inflation. You can see it in GDP. It tells a story. The contribution of food to GDP is been declining. When you go to inflation, the bulk of our inflation is food inflation. So what is it that this country is planting? That the more they plant, the less they harvest. The more this government plants, the less they harvest.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Friday, the 24th day of November 2023. By His grace, we're live and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude will go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of course, being here to have a conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in the Republic of Ghana and beyond. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Ahead of 2024 polls, religion, ethnicity, post-threat, NCCE. 2 Kumasi cement managers arrested. Leveraging technology for development, KNUST must lead way in Africa. Joe Anochi urges at Balfour Memorial Lectures. Constituency Watch. Ashaman constituency, bustling town, home of migrants. Ghanaian Times. Ghanaians in search of greener pastures. Over 3,500 voluntarily return home since 2017, IOM. Lands Minister Lord's gold for oil policy says it has stabilized local currency and reduced cost of fuel. 50% of babies delivered at Kolebu are preterm, Dr. Ho Essel. Ghana to receive 145.9 million euros German support. Asin North MPKs adjourned to February 7. Daily Guide. Marani meets a man, Mahama. Parliament opposes law on intestines import. Electricity tariff goes down 1.52%. NDC sold Parliament's Clerk's House. Otunfo shakes Brekum. New Weekend Crusading Guide. Clerk to Parliament's House was sold in 2015 or 2019. Abuja Napo straightens record in Parliament. Group 1's end-of-year party cancelled. Stay of Electrochem's concession. Artisanal miners warned. Fallout from Monday's shootout at Nkwanta 100th Fleet Town. The premise of the chieftaincy dichotomy in Osu, and Kuka assesses Ashanti's influence in MPP. The Insight. Civil service in danger of appointment of party boy, says Clocksack. Mahama, he says the Ghana he left in care of Akufo-Addo, Bawumia in Surrey State. Bastard, alarm blows over secret plans of police, NACOC and top state officials to cover up suspected cocaine syndicate. Yearly budgets have failed Ghana. Time to prioritize cultural identity, says 11-year-old Angelina of Educare. Israel now assassinating journalists in Gaza. Russia's special military operation, why US should not plan yet for Ukraine reconstruction. The Informer. As Bawumia makes inroads in the north, NDC man laments warns of showdown in 2024. Mahama blasts clergy and CSOs over watchdog role. Brekum Hini's funeral, Domaini Katusais as court restrains him. Local content in upstream petroleum industry, build capacity of service providers. Energy Minister urges conference. Commentary, purge yourself of looters. Manasseh advises Mahama. Religious bigotry, Okudzeto rubbishes Sam George. Okay, I'm sure what they wanted to write is six prayers from Chief Imam. Okay. The Inquisitor, 2020 electoral violence at Techiman South. Victims are angry. Warn NDC to stop politicizing it. We will vigorously pursue Ghanaian content drive. Energy Minister Asensu Boachi's Novelty Community Clinic making waves. Chief of Staff assures flood victims of proper support. CHIRM to Anna Napo today. The Herald. Ghana's military throwing out senior officers from Bangalore after dashing prime cantonment lands to private developer. Imperial Homes gives half-truth on $270,000 fraud case. State attorney told to stop misleading court at Kokobo trial. Electricity tariff down by 1.52%. Water up by 0.34% as Telecom Chamber wants e-levy reduction. The Daily Statesman. Be fair, firm, and fearless. Bawumia charges police. GES launches sexual harassment policy for schools. Gonja land overlord foresees Bawumia as president. Government to commission first 50 Agenda 111 hospitals mid-2024. The Ghanaian publisher. Bawumia key to Ghana's success. Abu Jinapo declares. NDC losing the North to MPP. Savannah NDC officer warns. Chieftaincy Ministry steps up consultation on religious policy. Government seeking external support for spillage communities. Chief of Staff. The Finder. Gold for oil procured 800,000 metric tons of petrol diesel in 1 year. Jinapo. Ghana to get 5G wireless data communication soon. Joe Anochi. LI seeking to ban importation of 22 products suspended. Petrosol wins brand of the year at Ghana Energy Awards 2023. Daily Post. 24-hour economy makes a lot of sense in a country with high unemployment rate. IEA Squatchy. You have failed as economist. You can't understand Mahama's 24-hour economy. I don't go to Bawumia. NDC activists undertake cleanup exercise around Mahama's office. Found no rodents there. Bawumia exposed in fake 35 million cedis watermelon factory salt cutting. Business and Financial Times. About 64% of workers financially stressed. Study. Ghana, Germany agree on 145.9 million euros in aid. October 2023, producer inflation slumps to 9.6%. Africa youth hold key to revolutionize climate challenge approaches. Samira Bawumia. Post-2024 budget outlook, enhancing MSMEs, operations and profitability. And Odotobri Rural Bank launches 40th anniversary celebration. And finally, the good old Catholic Standard. Ghana's economic woes due to poor management. That's the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference. Political system in Ghana beneficial to politicians alone. CEPAC's Golden Jubilee ends with calls for church in Africa to embrace digitality. Germany pledges 4 billion euros in Africa's green energy. Sunyani Diocese climaxes Golden Jubilee and reflects deeply on Ghana's democracy. Archbishop Kofi. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola. The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Machasi.
It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me Jidi said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasan Kasan Kasan.
Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling to Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ikropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ikropong right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Everybody knows Acrobato, and if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems room ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo medro me fire no ene ma won kra me nu kofo kwa na mkwan mu a eba and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nu nuru a ene ne wan den a watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you. Hello. Hey, what che? Okay. A free bra would the end point what dance. I'm the choir no.
me just say my name Koye, and plus one of my Emina, and imagine a Sabema. Now, let me fear for the hard in Jarissa. You heard everything. I have secret. Endpoint is my secret. Endpoint homeopathic clinic. I'm free.
Customer.
Nanaka.
Ah, Nadavena mean Jamel Trapapa.
What you saying?
Me try 10 Ghana.
10 Ghana.
10 Ghana cities.
No, dear, send out Benya.
10 Ghana cities. Me dear. 54,000 Ghana cities.
54,000.
540 million.
Yeah, the one who make Kamedi is Kasek.
Yeah. And then I get it's now when. Now I book it. Ah, draw on assassin. Where? Mammy, you volume.
Customer! One of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and couple the makers in Sranu Deuro.
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. I'm up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Bwachi Hospital Junction. Sakrani. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
The same got to move.
Right, welcome back to the show. We're still researching on a lot of issues here, right here on the show. With me on the show this morning, I'm Nana Kumi. I was the managing director of STC, and he loves a lot of research. Good morning, Nana.
Good morning, Randy.
Okay. Also with me on the show this morning
One second. Did you say I love research?
Yeah, don't you?
No, we're talking about Samuel Kujeto's research assistant, not mine.
Oh, so it's about research assistants, not research.
So if you're talking about research, Samuel Kujeto, not me.
Okay.
Mine
was. So let's also with me on the show is a man who's been engaged in a lot of research into aqua energy-related disasters and all that, and humanitarian efforts. He represents the good people of the Northern constituency and is the ranking member on Foreign Affairs in the Parliament of Ghana. Sammy Okudzeto Ablakwa. Sammy, good morning.
Good morning, Doc. Good to see you.
How's your research assistant?
Well, they are all doing well. I have a strong team. A strong team of researchers. This work we do, you really.
Hey, where is my man who won the elections?
Oh,
is here?
Yeah. Let me use the opportunity to celebrate one of them.
Yes.
My good protege, Kofi Abochi, who is the new SRC president for GIMPA.
Following your footsteps.
Solid.
After Edem Agbana.
Yes.
And Edem Agbana is following you to Parliament.
Definitely. looking forward to working with him in Parliament. Yeah.
I see.
Which constituency is that?
Ketu North.
Ketu
North. For Edem Agbana.
Who's there now?
The Honorable Aveji is not seeking re-election. Yeah.
Now, how about your former research assistants? You didn't have any?
No, I left Parliament long ago.
But you never had any?
I had.
But you had a reputation for research assistants who caused a stir. Let me put it diplomatically.
Talking about research assistants, really, MTN has some good news for us. Let's go to MTN. And why are you smiling? I mentioned MTN and you're smiling.
No, the two of you bring me here every Friday to just
to do what?
Harass me.
Imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every single day. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly what Momo Season is all about. There's something for everyone. Download the Momo app on Play Store, App Store, and use Momo Pay for your day-to-day transactions to a merchant, either through the QR code or merchant ID, and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. Our merchants are also not left out of the reward. Receive payments and win. Keep using your Momo Pay app and get rewarded. There are lots and lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So what are we doing today? Transact more with Momo Pay, earn more points, and win big this Momo season. Visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for your Momo for Business account today. It's a Momo season, so just Momo it with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions apply. And brushing your kids' teeth sometimes becomes difficult due to the resistance because of the taste of the toothpaste available to them. Use Kel Kids toothpaste flavored with strawberry that gives a perfect taste for kids and makes them develop a personal attitude and love for brushing their teeth always. Kel Kids toothpaste protects child's gum, prevents cavities, and makes the teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Kel Kids toothpaste is recommended for children between 2 and 6. Is a product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel Kids, happy smell. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages. But worry no more. Lift and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumono or just call them on 0200-535-515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movements. And if you're looking at alternative medicine, let me introduce you to Amen Alternative Medical Hospital. It's one of the best alternative medicine hospitals in Ghana today. So for all your health consultations, counseling, physiotherapy, and homeopathic medicine, Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is the best for you. It's the first to modernize herbal and homeopathy medicine in Ghana. They have the best medical practitioners from KNUST with a state-of-the-art medical equipment created for your need. The most obscure ailments can be diagnosed and taken care of. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is at Klagon on the Lashibia Sherman Road near the Underbridge. And they are open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. From Mondays to Saturdays and 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sundays. You can reach them on 0207-229-505 or 0244-227-192. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital. God is the healer. Sammy, I haven't seen you in a while. I mean, since you on the lighter side perfected your skills at swimming.
You was here last.
Especially against the Tide. I wasn't here.
Yes.
I wasn't here. I was in Kumasi for the Black Stars game.
Yeah. Where you proceeded to give some performance.
Where? In Kumasi?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kumasi game, we had a last minute win.
And then you went to Comoros?
No, I was here. I was here.
So that's why they lost?
Oh, no. I mean, I wasn't going to play.
No, but
I wasn't going to strike for the team.
But it appears that your presence on the sidelines
does
some magic.
Don't overemphasize my importance.
Please make sure you go for the next qualifier. we beg you. We beg you.
Don't overemphasize my importance.
No, please go. We beg you. Just be on the sidelines for us.
Someone was reminding me that the only trophy that has been won by Nana Akufo-Addo was won by me.
Which one?
The under-20 AFCON.
So that's why, Randy, we need you.
No, we need Nana. Nana must give some pep talks to the defenders, especially the central defenders.
You mean the president?
You. The president was a boxer. Okay, he played some football, but he played football too. He was a midfielder.
Nana Komia's knowledge is now antiquated. We're talking about modern football.
His knowledge in central defense.
Yeah, it's now antiquated. He's brought all to political propaganda. So, in terms of real football, I'm not sure it will be a disastrous outcome.
So yours is more carrot.
The Sergio Ramos
I'm not going to. I'm not
political communication.
I'm not going to.
Oh, you would not go there.
I wouldn't go there at all.
The last time, did he tell us he was a winger?
Yes. I used to play 7. Yes. No, you can.
You see that? Let's
check. No, you can check with the folks who were in association.
Now, face. How about your laughter? Your happiness?
Is that with the folks at association?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. This was many years ago. Yeah.
Making his matters worse. You were playing at association.
Not basketball or tennis.
I think on this matter, let's not hear him. The more we hear him, the more he gets.
Let's talk about swimming again.
we shouldn't hear Sammy on this matter anymore.
Yeah, Doc. Good to see you. Good to be back.
Yes.
It's been a really difficult period for us. Yeah.
I mean, where are we now? What's the situation?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Our biggest headache now, Doc, which traumatizes me every time, Doc, is the fact that as we speak, getting into the 8th week, thousands of people are living in classrooms. You do know that according to NADMO, 12,633 people are displaced in my constituency alone. Across the country, we are talking about some 40,000 people displaced, approximately. It's about 39,000 and a few more. But the challenge now, as the water levels have receded, and let me commend Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, his engineers and planners team, who came in to help together with the military and NADMO. They did a great job in really creating channels for the stagnant high waters to recede by finding a pathway back into the river. After that, the valley communities, as I call them, communities where there is substantial caving in terms of the topography, those communities, the waters are still there, but what is happening now is a pumping process which is taking place. So industrial pumping machines are being used to pump out the water from those valleys back into the Volta River so that we can have total dryness and begin to restore our communities. The challenge, as I said earlier, is that because you have so many displaced people and you have a situation where the houses that they used to live in, two things really have happened. So you have those whose houses have been damaged completely destroyed. And according to NADMO, we are looking at about 1,500 houses completely damaged. They've totally crumbled because a lot of them could not survive as they were submerged under high waters for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks in some of the communities. And you know the integrity of these buildings, a lot of rural housing. You have mud houses, you have clay being used. They are not as robust.
Those houses have to be rebuilt.
Yes, so we have to rebuild those houses, more preferably on higher ground. Unfortunately, our chiefs have donated land for reconstruction of these houses on higher ground. And we have begun on our own to do this reconstruction. So there's the Fair Sky reconstruction going on, and I must commend the Fair Sky group. They were the first to come in and offer resettlement housing. They have worked expeditiously, and I believe that in the next few days we can begin to commission the Fair Sky alternative housing project, so that we can relocate some of the people. But the numbers are huge, and so we will need more support. If you look at the most affected communities, it will be good to have resettlement done in Mepe, resettlement done in the Agbetikpo area, because they're really affected, those in Sikor, those in Memoji, all the way down to Aveime, really, really affected. So we'll need one resettlement house in there to relocate those people. And then you need one in the Dofo Adidome, Dofo Agovame enclave. So that's the first category, those who totally have lost their houses. And there's a second category of victims of the VRA-induced floods, who are the persons whose homes were submerged, but the houses have not crumbled as of yet. We are urging those people to exercise some restraint. They should remain in the displaced camps in the schools so that we conclude the structural integrity assessment, which we are carrying out. Because there are no guarantees that these houses, having been submerged all these weeks, will have the strength that they had before, that they will not collapse on the heads of my beloved constituents when they do return to their homes. So that's the second category where we are urging restraint, and the structural integrity assessment has begun, and we are hoping that there will be a report sometime next week, so we can know which of the houses can be probably, fumigated, decontaminated, and then revived somewhat once the pillars, once the foundations are still strong, and then they can relocate from the camps. So you need to put this whole disaster in perspective. The water levels, yes, have receded, but it does not mean the crisis is over. You have thousands. The last time we did a count, there are about 7,000 people in these 21 displaced camps, which are really schools. The rest are putting up with relatives, friends in other communities and outside the constituencies. Some professionals were affected, teachers, nurses, who are beginning to return. I put out a package last week for the teachers, where we are supporting them with rent, and we've deposited 100,000 Ghana cedis with the education director, so that teachers who find new accommodation to rent can access that fund, apply to the education director, and Madam Rhoda will gladly support the teachers who are returning. I must add that in the interim, we have mobilized volunteer teachers who are helping us to teach the students in the camps. You know that for students or school pupils, they have been displaced twice. So displaced from their homes and then displaced from their schools, because the schools are being used as the displaced camps. And what is happening therefore is that they cannot have access to their classrooms. So we've mobilized volunteer teachers, and I must commend the folks from NUCHA, the folks from Uriel, Ghana. The National Union of Ghana Students has also called us that they've mobilized a number of students who want to volunteer their services, and we commend my own union, NUCS, for that initiative. So these groups are helping, together with some of the professional teachers who have returned to the constituency, and they are helping to, as it were, close the gap, help the students to come back on track somewhat. I know that it's not the best, it's not the ideal situation, because concentration levels, you know, these are camps that have a lot of activity, a lot of donors are coming in, a lot of offloading of relief items and all of that. But it's better than nothing at all. We couldn't, as local community leaders, just sit back and watch our children and our young ones, you know, perish and lose their future by way of, you know, neglecting their academic needs. I must also add, Doc, that we have also rolled out an intervention to support the tertiary students who must return to school. You know that in the next few days, indeed, some have already reopened, but because of the impact of the VRA-induced floods on not only accommodation, but on livelihoods. People have lost all their savings, their livelihoods, their farms, their fish ponds, and all of that. So we have selected 50 of the most affected students. We've paid their full fees, and I am glad that the MP's office has been able to come through for these tertiary students who are returning to the university. But now our biggest headache, Doc, is those still in the schools, and I'm really at a loss why the Saglemi housing project, for example, could not have been utilized by government as an interim measure to at least, you know, hold these displaced persons, you know, use it as a holding place. We all know that people would definitely love to return to their homeland, to their hometowns, where they were born, where they grew up. But we know that reconstruction, resettlement takes time. So interim measure, relocate the people to Saglemi, which is almost completed. We are told there's just a few wiring and plumbing works which were outstanding. And the more Saglemi is abandoned, the more that building deteriorates. And we spent about $200 million on that project. And I've always said that, look, if you have issues with accountability and all of that, deal with those persons who you think that have questions to answer. Those persons will also have their day in court, and I'm sure that they will vindicate their position. And if justice is truly done, nobody will complain about justice having been done. But once the building has been constructed, don't let it waste away. And you read the 2024 budget, and you see government's commitment to starting new affordable housing projects elsewhere, you know, in Pokuase, in Kumasi, you know. Meanwhile, Saglemi housing is there. So the way we go about public financial management in this country, the way this particular government has been really mismanaging affairs and quite reckless and insensitive. I mean, this is the level of, the highest level of insensitivity. Saglemi is virtually completed. Why do you keep people under such inhumane conditions, insanitary conditions? I mean, the level of indignity that these people are being subjected to. They're living as destitute, you know, as refugees in their own country. And we all know these classrooms. There are no kitchenettes, no bedrooms, no toilet facilities, no washrooms. I mean, you wouldn't even wish your worst enemy to live under those conditions. So I am glad that I have filed an urgent question requiring the Works and Housing Minister to come explain to Parliament why is it that Saglemi is not being considered as an option, an immediate option, so that we can relocate. What the relocation will do as an interim measure is that it will restore the dignity of our displaced persons, even give them a certain psychological, upliftment in the interim. Then our students can return to the schools. As we speak, the biggest camp in Northtown, the Mepes and Kizito camp, where some 1,500 displaced people are. You know that the second years and third years resumed schooling about some 4 weeks ago. So all students, and Mepes and Kizito has about 3,100 if you add first years, the full stream students. They are all at home. They can't have access to their secondary school. And the headmaster was telling me only this week, a couple of days ago, that parents are coming to the school and seeking transfer letters. They are withdrawing their students in droves. So if care is not taken, Mepes and Kizito Senior High Technical School will collapse. And we all know what these secondary schools do to even the local economy. They serve as growth poles. And what happens to all the teachers, the hundreds of teachers who have been posted to that school, who are teaching, the teaching and non-teaching staff? When a school collapses, I mean, it has dire consequences. So we cannot keep waiting. And you see, yes, I acknowledge that the government has put 220 million in the 2024 budget. But I keep asking, the 533 million approved in the 2023 budget, this year's budget, for contingency, this is a real contingency. Contingency are things like this, emergencies, things you couldn't foresee, you couldn't predict. This is the correct contingency.
But you know.
And you see, don't forget the fact that, Doc, this is a government that redefined contingency and used contingency for a national cathedral project 2 years ago. Until we busted them, the finance minister tried to offer some explanation when he appeared before us at the vote of censure committee. And we told him in the face that that cannot be contingency. A project that you have planned, you set up a board, you have invited reverend ministers, you have a multiple year outlay. If you read the Public Financial Management Act, that cannot be contingency. This is a real contingency. Now that a contingency has happened, we don't know where the contingency vote is. 533 million.
We're broke. We probably don't have the money.
But we didn't become broke just this year. Actually, we are now even on some gradual recovery. We were in much dire circumstances previous years when they still used the contingency vote for the cathedral. So you see, where is our humanity? Where is our
so the chief of staff, who is also the chair of the
interministerial committee,
held a presser on Wednesday, and she disclosed that government was actively pursuing international support from the World Bank and international climate-related resources to aid the communities. And she was providing updates on the ongoing relief, and she assured that for the restoration phase, the government through the Ministry of Agriculture will allocate additional resources to support the rebuilding of livelihoods. There's key stakeholders from ministries such as Education, Road, Health, Sanitation, Water Resources have collected and analyzed data from affected communities. The government has made 40 million cedis available for relief efforts through the VRA and NADMO. And highlighting the collaborative effort of the Interministerial Committee with various agencies, including VRA, NADMO, EPA, Water Resources Commission, Ghana Hydrological Authority, Ghana Health Service, and Ghana Education Service, she underscored the continuous engagement with all relevant stakeholders.
You see, even this business of pursuing international support, you recall that prominent Ghanaians, led by former President Mahama, urged President Akufo-Addo to declare a state of emergency. If they had done that declaration, you would not now be applying many weeks down the lane. a lot of support will have poured in from bilateral and multilateral partners. I do not know why government failed to declare a state of emergency. I don't think that it is too late for them to do that. If you look at the levels of destitution, you know, the squalor, the inhumanity that we are subjecting thousands of our compatriots to. So they are now applying to the World Bank under the emergency relief window of the IDA. We are hopeful, but you see, these are all matters that will take time. The 40 million they talk about is coming through VRA, and VRA has been used to offer, if you like, the interim stopgap, you know, support. And the figures keep changing. Initially, VRA announced 20 million. When the energy minister came to parliament, he said 10 million, if you check the parliamentary records. Now the chief of staff is saying 40 million. But it's all VRA, and it's not even clear exactly what the figure is. Because this 20 million was announced before the minister came to parliament and said 10 million. If it had been announced earlier, you could have said that probably it's being increased. Now we are hearing 40 million. It's not clear what exactly government wants to do. But all of that is VRA money. Central government itself, the question is, what is central government doing? The contingency vote of 533 million, where is it? You know, I mean, you spend about 339 million to create the world's most expensive pit. That National Cathedral project, which has seen virtually all the eminent clergymen on that board resign. The latest to resign Reverend Isud Anaba and Archbishop Duncan Williams. Bishop Dakeward Mills and Reverend Mensa Otabil resigned earlier. So 339 million could be taken out of the contingency vote for that pit. We didn't even get value for money. David Ajay alone pocketed over 110 million cedis. Carrie Summers is also keeping $6 million, you know, in the States in his coffee warehouse. So the question you ask is that, what are our value systems? What are our priorities? Shouldn't we be valuing human lives, the lives of our compatriots? Why should we watch them live under these, you know, dehumanizing conditions? You know, so there's a certain urgency which we are not seeing. These are not matters that, because you see, if you say, oh, let's wait for 2024 budget approval of the budget to be approved sometime 21st and 2nd of December. Now, allocations in the budget do not mean actual releases. There's a world of difference between an allocation and an actual release. And there's also no guarantee that even if there will be some releases, it will be done early next year. There's no guarantee that it will be January or February or March. Are these people going to keep living in classrooms? Yes, we are doing our best as local leaders, talking to companies, you know, foundations, NGOs, you know, but I mean, those who are keeping our taxes, what are they doing? Where is the urgency, you know, to deal with the fundamental issue of resettlement and compensation? So it's really traumatizing, Doc. But let me, as I conclude on this matter, I will be remiss if I do not, in all humility, celebrate very prominent personalities who have reached out to us this week. And Dr. Randiabi, I need to begin with His Eminence, the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Dr. Osman Nuhu Sharabutu, who, from what his aides and protocol team told us, insisted against all their, you know, appeal, insisted that he will come to the constituency himself and visit the victims in the displaced camps. The National Chief Imam was with us on Tuesday, spent the whole day after I had the extreme privilege of hosting him in my house, where he offered special prayers for me. I would really like to thank him on behalf of our chiefs and particularly the displaced persons, And Doc, the chief imam did something very symbolic and very, very touching. He invited the oldest people in the camps and said special prayers for them. And will you believe that that exercise made people, including the media who were there, see how old people are in those camps? The oldest people were between 82 and 97 years. It's a 97-year-old person, you know.
But you are young, but have you seen the front page of the Informer?
Yes, and the mischievous twist. Yes, I mean, yeah, that was the chief imam. The chief imam offering special prayers for me. But the chief imam also offers special prayers for the most senior people in the camps.
Is this the same function?
Yes,
okay.
This is the same function. But you see, this twist, I think is most unfair to some judges. There's Okuja to ravishes some judge. I mean, how can that be?
But not directly. Not directly.
No, I mean, this has got nothing to do with some judge, and I think that the mischief.
But you've never gone to a mosque to go and pray.
Yeah, I mean, these things.
Yeah, let's get on.
They're needless distractions. Yeah, so I must celebrate the chief imam this morning, and being a Juma Friday, I pray for longer life, more blessings. For the national chief imam. I mean, that example, you know, that towering symbol that he really erected this week is outstanding, and the national chief imam must be celebrated by all of us for what he has done, his compassion, his humanity. Then Dr. Randiabe, guess what? His Royal Majesty the Yana Abukari II also reached out to us. He called and said that, look, I've been following the disaster. I've mobilized hundreds, over 200 bags of maize, 100 bags of rice, and other relief items. So kindly come for them. You guys are doing a good job down there. And I was led by my chiefs. I want to commend Togbia Zagba of Mafa, Manklalo Boboji of Bator, the Mamaga of Bator, Mamaga Asieku the Fourth, and Manklalo of Dofo, Togbia Agbola, who led me to the chief, to the Yana's palace on Wednesday, and I must salute the Yana, and it shows how, you know, united we are. It's very beautiful to see, you know, different cultures, different traditions mixing and helping each other. I mean, that's what humanity is about. It's us today, it might be you tomorrow, and once we reach out, it does help. I would also like to celebrate the German embassy and GIZ. They were also with us on Monday, and you have to give it to the Germans. They are very practical, very efficient. They were the first group of people to bring in bunk beds, metallic bunk beds, you know, foldable and easily. Because yes, we've received lots of mattresses, but you have to, you know, use it on the floor. Yeah, but they brought in metallic bunk beds and other relief items, and very impressive donation from the German embassy. I want to thank the government and people of Germany for that support, and indeed all the others. The last time we looked at our list of donors, those who have come through the MP's office alone, we've hit about 170. Will you believe that? You know, and it's still counting. We have a lot more coming. KEK insurance brokers are coming to the constituency this afternoon. You have Joe Metal coming in tomorrow morning. Ochiame Kwame has also called that he's coming in probably on Sunday. So there are many people, the celebrities. Nanama McBrown has been there already, Lydia Forsen, you know, Na Shoko, and a host of others. Jackie Appiah is also on the ground with her team. They are doing some livelihood training, those who want to learn or acquire new skills, having lost their farms and their fish ponds and all of that. So Ghanaians have really come true for us, and we cannot thank them enough. You in the media, Doc, your own Ignite Media is doing a lot of work. You're even organizing a walk to raise funds, particularly for the school pupils, to buy them stationery, school materials. You're doing a good job mobilizing donations, and so has your colleagues, Joy FM, City FM, Angel Group, all of them. I don't know of any media house, GTV, TV3 has been there twice already. I don't know of any media house that's not mobilizing their viewers or listeners to do something to support. And yesterday there was an old lady who invited me to her house and offered her little pension. Yeah, very, very touching. She used to work.
The Jospon Group has been there, right?
Yes. Yeah, the Jospon Group has also been there, It's been amazing. It's been amazing. I don't recall the last time, we saw such, major solidarity across all divides, all artificial boundaries, and it's really been.
Okay, I need to get to Nana Kumia, but Colonel Festus Abuaji has 3 questions that he thinks you need to deal with before.
Yeah.
The first one is who's funding the teachers' 100,000 cedis rent fund? 2, who's funding the Fair Sky reconstruction? And 3, who's funding the engineers and planners recovery works?
Yes, and I think that in the spirit of transparency, it's important to point these things out and to clarify. So the engineers and planners dredging is fully funded by Mr. Ibrahim Mahama as his corporate social responsibility, fully funded, and we must salute Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. And he's doing this after he did a major donation of relief items, and he didn't do that only in North Tongue, all the affected constituencies in the Volta region, then in Adan, Greater Accra region, Eastern region, Esojaman, and then Northern Savannah. Many people forget that about 32 constituencies at our last count in Parliament have been affected. It's just that we are the epicenter. We were more affected, in a bigger way than the other constituencies. But Ibrahim Mahama reached out to everybody, including former President Mahama, who has also done a fantastic job. Only a few days ago, he even donated truckloads to the people in the Bono region who were also affected. Then the second question about My Teachers Fund. So there are 2 funds that I launched. The Teachers Fund to support teachers to have rental support so they can rent since they lost their houses. That's 100,000. Then the 50 tertiary students, 115,000. So this coming from the MP's office. Let me clarify that we have set up what we call the Accountability Elders Council. So we have put in place structures. Nobody really prepares for these disasters. So when they occur and you are seeing such an avalanche of support, donations, in kind and then financial support, what you must do is that you must quickly put in place accountability structures. Because if care is not taken, what will become the next disaster is a scandal that you can't account a lot of, and it doesn't help your image. But even worse, you see, people are going through a lot. People are donating not because they just have extra resources. They are donating because they want to help humanity. They want it to go directly to the victims. So in North Tongue, we have this structure, the Accountability Elders Council, where you have chiefs there, you have prominent persons like Professor Fedo, who chairs, and then an entrepreneur, the owner of Best Care Hotel. So it's a 7-member panel, and every item that comes in, whether cash, whether material items, they demand the list, the inventory, and then they also advise on the distribution. And so it's being done openly. And if you have observed, in North Tongue, we don't receive any item privately or secretly or in the MP's office under the cover of darkness. We receive them in the open, in the various camps. We rotate, and then we invite the chiefs, we invite assemblymen, the DCE, everybody is there, the Accountability Council, receive the items. We encourage those coming to donate to even publicly list what they are bringing, and often we even ask them to help us hand the items directly to the victims. So I want to assure Colonel Festus, the respected Colonel Festus Abuaji, that we've put in place these structures for accountability. And there will be a report.
Yes.
The Accountability Auditors Council will publish a report, after which we'll also invite independent auditors to audit everything that has come in. We made that announcement when we launched the council. There was a third...
First Sky.
The First Sky, yes. The First Sky construction is fully funded by the First Sky Group in terms of the fiscal works. What we did was to provide land. So we provided land for free, and I must celebrate my chiefs and the clan heads who have provided. They've provided quite... In Mapa, we have 2 locations, one around the Dagoma area, another one around the Holy Christ area. So, and there is combined over 200 acres for resettlement houses. Then in the Bato traditional area, we have 3 locations around the IDA, that's the IDA land, where Avema rises. And then we have one near the Besker Hotel. And then there's a third one near, just opposite the Alinko gas station. Then there's, at Agbetipo, there's also one for those who were affected in the Siko Memoji area. So we are only contributing by way of land, but in terms of the fiscal construction, they are doing that. We will be starting in the next few days because a number of companies donated bags of cement. So in the next few days, we are mobilizing the youth, and we will start construction of the MP's housing initiative. That one, we are going to do it on our own from the cement. There's another company, Davido Company Limited, who are donating. They say that anything we build, all the roofing, they will take care of it. So we have roofing, we have cement, and we are going to go ahead with that construction. And let me indicate that we will be putting into practice President Mohammed's 24-hour economy initiative when we start next week. We'll be working 24 hours so that we can quickly, because I'm particularly worried about the secondary school, St. Kizito, the way students are being withdrawn, by their parents. If care is not taken, that secondary school will collapse. And we wouldn't have, it's the most, prominent secondary school we have in the constituency with very good performance. The students there do very well. We have good teachers there, and it will be such a shame to lose Mapa St. Kizito. So once we do these housing initiatives very quickly, we can at least relocate the people there immediately, and then the secondary school can be restored, and academic work will begin. But you see, these are matters that require urgency. That is why I would appeal to government. Yes, it's good you're looking at budget allocations for 2024, but there's a contingency vote. There's 533 million approved by Parliament. Let's see a sense of urgency this year and now. Are people going to spend the whole of December? Remember that November hasn't ended yet. Whole of December, probably the whole of January, under these conditions. In classrooms, in tents. We cannot sustain this.
Obviously, Sami is not enthused about government's response.
Well, listening to the whole narration of Sami, it looks like government is doing nothing. That's the impression you get. It's amazing. But at least the whole 1 hour that you spoke, you never mentioned anything that government is doing. Not even one.
Oh, I said government has made an allocation in the budget, but that's for next year. We want urgent.
You never mentioned one thing that government is doing in the whole 1 hour that you spoke.
You're not being fair to me.
So, I don't know what is happening, whether there are 2 narrations going on, an NDC narration and then the government narration. I don't know. Because the government too has been giving updates about the situation in the flooded areas. And you listen to Sami and not a single mention of what government is doing. He says that government has done some allocation. That means on the ground, government is doing nothing. And I find it extremely difficult to believe that all the things that are happening there are happening through private people. I find it extremely difficult.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So, well, if we've turned this thing into another partisan propaganda, that is our own matter. But just you mentioned the government gave a 2-hour brief on what it's doing. Unfortunately, I don't have it here. So, but it looks like there are 2 narrations going on. And as usual, I stand into NPP.
What the Chief of Staff said that I read was that the government was actively pursuing international support from the World Bank and international climate-related resources to aid communities affected by the Akosombo Dam's pillage. And then she also said that, quote, says that she assured that for the restoration phase, the government through the Ministry of Agriculture would allocate additional resources to support the rebuilding of livelihoods. Key stakeholders from ministries such as education, roads, health, sanitation, water resources have collected and analyzed data from affected communities. The government has made 40 million cedis available for relief efforts between the VRA and NADMO. So this is what she said.
And obviously, none of it has been seen on the ground by Samuel Okudzeto. So we need to get away from one-way narration. We need to get away from it, because obviously all the parties are contributing.
Are you impressed with government's efforts? Are you impressed?
I don't know the extent of. We're all concerned when the flooding was taking place. After the flooding stopped, I haven't quite followed, but I know that there's an interministerial committee of about 11 ministries or so, headed by the Chief of Staff, and I'll be extremely surprised if these people on this committee are doing nothing on the ground. I'm extremely surprised. But if you listen to Samuel Okudzeto, you would think that as for government has gone to sleep. I don't see how that can be the case. And Sami gives the impression that he's had no contacts with the committee, the official committee that government has set up to deal with the situation at the place. It doesn't look like Sami has any contact with them at all.
Yeah, they've never met us, yeah. Which is really...
They've never met
the affected MPs. I've been checking with colleagues as well.
They've never met the affected MPs.
Yeah, at least in my case, the epicenter,
which is strange, you know, because members of parliament are very, very key stakeholders. So if it is true that the committee that has been set up, the official committee, has not met members of parliament in the affected areas and chiefs in the affected areas, then that should be corrected quickly. Because you can't go and do a situation like this without the participation of the key leaders on the ground. Chiefs, members of parliament, assemblymen, and so on.
I'm a bit surprised because if you look this part, it says key stakeholders from ministries such as education, roads, health, sanitation, water resources have collected and analyzed data from affected communities. How can all this be done without, unless we don't want to, unless we don't see?
I'm even wondering where they got the data from.
Well, you can go to the ground to collect the data. I mean, that you can do because it's the ground. But members of parliament should know what is happening. They should be involved. If I was a member of parliament in an area, Okaigwe South, and there's a major disaster in Okaigwe South, and I see government agencies coming in, and I don't know what they are doing, and so on. Then the coordination, was it last week or the week before, when we met here, we talked about the need for coordination during the period of the flooding, because so much relief efforts were going in, and some were going to chiefs, some were going to MPs, some were going to, people were even doing it on their own. You hear, this is some media organization has gone in and is putting up houses. And so we mentioned the need for coordination so that the benefit from whatever relief is going in will be maximized. We are not working in silos, independent of each other. So obviously that coordination should be there. And if members of parliament have not been engaged by the interministerial committee, that should be corrected quickly. Because Samuel last week talked about the consideration of the Saglemi as a temporary housing. And the idea was that this thing should be, because works and housing is part of the interministerial, so this thing should have been discussed at that level, but obviously it hasn't been discussed. No. Okay. So there has to be that coordination. Of course, I mean, you know, deepening the politics by trying to beat up government directly, even though it's totally needless, is that Saglemi hasn't been completed, and the government was going on to do housing schemes and so on. And that is a sign of government wickedness and competence and so on. Well, I wish Saglemi is completed. I know there are difficult issues surrounding Saglemi, how money is voted by Parliament to construct 5,000 housing units could be reduced from 5,000 to about 1,500 or so at the ministerial level, that a loan and work approved by Parliament, people at the ministry would go and change it, and yet still pay all the money and so on. But that is before the court, and I know the former minister at that time, and also the chief director and so on, are in court. So there are all these difficulties with Saglemi. But I wish that, like Sami is saying, we isolate the criminal aspect away from it and then still go ahead and complete. But this, if you want to be fair, this is not the first time a government in this country has bypassed major housing work. Because even before Saglemi was put up, the famous Kufuor affordable housing project, there is one in that area, just a few kilometers from Saglemi. Randy, you know the place? When you go in, I've forgotten the particular area, but the Kufuor affordable housing.
Botema.
No, Botema is just here.
Yes. So which one are you talking about?
Going to the Pram areas.
Okay. I didn't know there was one.
There's one there.
Okay.
It's just a few kilometers from Saglemi. It's also been neglected, and then Saglemi was put up. You know, and if we're doing things in a way that would achieve a certain efficiency, you would have thought that before Saglemi was done, one or two of those affordable, even Botema, just here, could have been completed. So this is not the first time that governments bypass projects started before them and go and do similar projects anyway. So if you want to have a balanced discussion, then you need to consider all of this. Somebody talked about state of emergency. I've heard it being mentioned. I don't know if there are some major advantages that would come with the declaration of the state of emergency. If there are major advantages that will come, then I would want to find out why government has not looked at that option. I don't know if there's something in a state of emergency or in international statutes that say that once you declare a state of emergency, you then become in place to assess certain international aid. I don't know. And that if you don't, you can't get that international assistance or whatever. I don't know what it is. But from the Chief of Staff's conference that you read, obviously some international assistance is being sought. But if there's some advantage, extra advantage that comes with declaring a state of emergency, why not? If there are no difficulties, I mean, in terms of balance, it's beneficial. I don't see, and I don't know if government has addressed that matter about the state declaring a state of emergency or not. Something that has to be looked at. But this Samuel Kujeto and Sharibu, the chief imam, you know, I haven't seen this, but this goes directly to show the folly of St. George. See, here you are with the chief imam.
I thought first of all you commend the chief imam for, at his age, coming to the constituency himself to visit the victims. I think that's more important. That's really what we should focus on.
I haven't finished.
Oh, okay.
Now here you are with the chief imam, despite his advanced age, able to travel to the place to console and donate, and actually saying special prayers for you, Samuel Kujetu, and laying his hands on you. And these are the very things that Sam George said amount to religious.
Well, that's not what I heard. That's not what I heard Sam George say.
No, he said that people go, Bawumia goes and he has Catholic priests praying for him.
No, he said he went into more detail than that as to who is the savior.
But he said, he said that the man goes and he gets Catholic priests praying for him. But here you are, a devout Christian. You have the chief imam laying his hands on you.
Sam George himself has a picture that he put out with the chief imam. The chief.
In fact, you even have
chief imam praying for him.
So why was he taking issue with Dr. Bawumia?
What I heard him say, one of the things he said on this program had to do with, I mean, it's unfortunate I have to get into those things. Had to do with, but it's just because you've raised
trying
the
to focus
issue,
on that.
is that he says that some of the utterances of Dr. Bawumia, especially to the effect that they all believe that Christ is going to come again and save the world and all that, is obviously not what Islam preaches.
Yeah, so he delved deeper into the Bawumia statements.
He said Muslims believe Christ will save the world.
Yes, that Dr. Bawumia said that at a church service, and there's a video which is available. And he said that is against what Islam.
And is Sam George a Muslim?
You don't have to be
because
a Christian to know that Christians believe that.
No, 1 second. Me, I haven't read the Savior. Randy, I haven't read the Quran.
Yes.
I haven't. So I don't know all the things in the Quran. Even the Bible, even though I pride myself as a devout Christian, even you who it's a much more ardent churchgoer than, and I tell you that I wish I could also be as regular in church as you, Randy. I don't know if you've read the Bible from. I have read a bit of the Bible. There are aspects, especially in the New, even in the Old Testament, because when we're younger people, social media wasn't there. So when you are by yourself, you read, and the Bible was one of the books that we read. But I've read up to some point where they call the prophets, Ezra, and those things. I haven't read them. When it comes to the New Testament, I have read the Gospels.
Yes,
that's the four.
Yes,
they are the Gospels.
John, Mark, Matthew, Mark, Luke,
yes,
John.
Yes. Then a little bit of Acts.
Okay.
But where 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Ephesians, I haven't read.
You've not read Revelations?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So you should see. Go talk to Mr. Fred Owari.
What has he done?
When it comes to Revelations, he's an expert.
On that one,
you're on Revelation, on Revelations.
Okay. So even me,
one of my favorite books.
Even then, I have to go and read it.
You should. You should.
But even me, because I haven't read the entire Bible, if somebody says something in the Bible and it interests me, I'll probably go and find it out and read. I don't know what the Quran says about Jesus Christ.
They consider him a prophet.
So, but St. George went on to talk about the man goes to church, and he found issue with that. As if
that's what the man said in church.
It's not about just going to church.
What he
was concerned about
what he said in church.
Yes, what he said.
And what he said in church.
But they believing that Christ is the Savior and is going to come back.
And he's disputing that. And that's what he's disputing.
Islam does not say.
And I'm saying something. Has he read the Quran? But you see, one of the biggest strong points that we have in this country is our religious harmony.
Yes.
You know. So don't let politics and this thing that is what political gain do you get? Don't let politics come into our religious harmony. It's totally unnecessary. Look at this beautiful site where Samuel Kujato is being prayed for by the chief imam. And for me, one of the most beautiful pictures that if I get, I'll frame is the chief imam celebrating his 100th birthday. And you know birthdays, these little birthdays that we have, 50 years, 55 years, 60, 70. These are huge occasions. Can you imagine 100 years? And no less a person than the chief imam. One of the places where he celebrated his 100th birthday was the Catholic Church.
Yes.
And you saw the Catholic Reverend
Palmer Bakum
laying his hands on the chief imam to pray for him. No. These are beautiful. And let's not drag politics into this, as St. George sought to do.
Should we also, you made a point that we have lived harmoniously in this country. So why would there be any attempt to create the impression that a person is promoting religious tolerance? When, from your assertion and from what I have said, we do not have an issue of religious intolerance. We don't have a problem with faiths. It doesn't exist. So why would we create the impression that there is a particular individual who is projecting or promoting religious tolerance? There is no problem. Why are we creating a solution to something a problem that does not exist?
Who said there's a problem that somebody is solving?
No, for you, for an assertion to be made that a person is promoting religious tolerance, there must be a case.
Who's making that assertion?
Many of the, it's an attribute that has been given to
all those who came after St. George.
I mean, it's an attribute that is even proud to St. George. The issue of promotion of religious tolerance, promotion of religious tolerance.
Yes, but you see, Randy, people like you and me, we play Samuel Kujato, we play in the media, you know, and we do things and say things that we believe are in the interest of the country. The way other people interpret it, many times we have no control.
True.
So, Baumia goes to a church. Somebody comments that, oh, by doing that, he's promoting religious tolerance. That is somebody's, the way they see it. You see, and I would have no, I wouldn't say then that commentary means there's a problem. Because you see, you can always improve or strengthen relations. For example, there was a president, one of the head of state in Ghana last week. Is the German?
Yeah.
The German president. And you are in foreign affairs. Yes. The German president comes here last week. And I think last week, a couple of days, President Akufo-Addo was in Paris also. Now, there's no problem between Ghana and Germany. We've always had a good relationship with Germany. There's absolutely been no problem. I'm sure Ghana will count Germany as one of its main development partners. But with the German president coming here, somebody would comment that it strengthens or promotes Ghana-German relationship. That is the person's view. And indeed, even though there is no problem, the relationship can always be strengthened. You understand? So I really don't have it. But my issue is...
Let Anna finish.
Okay. No, come in if you want to come.
Yeah, you know, the advice you gave, the advice you gave that it is important not to bring politics into our religious harmony. I think that advice is really important and should go both ways. So yes, let us keep the harmony. Let us eschew needless politicization of that religious harmony. But you see, there are also others. Based on their posturing, their statements, people are observing, people are analyzing, and they are seeing political opportunism. They are seeing that somebody is trying to just needlessly take advantage.
Of what?
Because the person perceives that he is from the minority. If you look at the numbers. So you know politics, we are all politicians. We'll always look at the numbers. We play the numbers game, you know. And so how do I gain acceptance within the majority? And people are looking at the posturing and they are seeing a certain opportunism aimed at improving the political chances, the electability of that politician. And that's what analysts are saying, and I'm sure that was a concern of some George, that continuously what he is seeing Dr. Bawumia do, even the Christian name he says he has, and how he says he was in the Christian Boys Brigade.
Somebody sent me a news item, Ghanaian Times. VIP urges religious leaders to promote tolerance. I was trying to...
Yeah, so you see, people look at that and they see opportunism. They say that, look, you are just trying to, because you feel disadvantaged, which really should not be an issue. Because, look, I know of even interfaith marriages. I mean, my best friends in school growing up were Muslims. This is not an issue. But where somebody is conscious, that's why I like your advice at the end of your statement.
You said somebody,
you know that advice that don't bring in politics.
Yeah.
You know,
so who's brought in politics?
That advice, yes, that advice. That's what a lot of analysts are saying. That they see a certain opportunism. Because he wants to belong. He wants to be accepted. He wants to, because he feels disadvantaged. You know, because and really, that is it. I am not comfortable having these discussions. I think that if you look at the problems confronting our country, if you look at where we are, don't make an issue out of things that are not an issue. But there is harmony. We've always coexisted. We've never had any conflict on religious basis. But so it is those who keep pushing.
You mean
it's the opportunism.
Yeah,
that is what is.
You mean you are a politician. I am a politician.
Yeah.
I am a Christian.
Yeah.
You are a Christian. We've all been working in constituencies. I have a lot of Muslim communities in my constituency.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah.
Well, all of us do. When they invite me to a function, the Muslims, I go. When I go, I praise them for their show of tolerance and harmony by inviting me, a Christian. When I go, I try to wear a jalabia and a cap just to blend in and to show solidarity. And then we go and pray. In some cases, they ask me to say a few words. And I say a few words. Is that opportunism?
Yeah, but I'm sure there are limits to what you say.
No, is that opportunism?
When you cross certain
So when I go and I tell them I'm happy they are in my community, that I know Kaiko is South, I know the way they've been affecting there's one at Swan Lake, just down there. The way they've been impacting on the community in the Swan Lake area and all of that. How is that opportunity?
Do you tell them that you were once called Muhammad?
No, in fact,
once called Muhammad.
I was born.
And that you studied the Quran. You are probably Hafiz.
Okay.
There are always limits.
I have entered mosques many times.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
If I were seen in a mosque, and I'm given the opportunity of speaking, I've been invited to many Islam or Muslim ceremonies. Most of my friends, my closest buddies, are Muslims.
And then what?
And I go to a ceremony and I tell them that we all believe that Muhammad is the savior of the world. That is obviously.
Would they even take you serious?
That goes against what Christianity teaches me.
Yes.
That goes against what I believe in as a Christian.
And you said Bawumia said that where?
Oh, you haven't seen the video?
And he said that what? He believed Jesus is what?
That the Savior, he'll come back and save the world.
Yeah.
He said that at the podium in church.
Yeah. Because you see,
and did he say he believed that, or that is the belief?
He said we.
Anyway, let's look at it. No, but if
so that's where people. Nobody says that you can't do Buddhist, you can't do whatever.
It's a naked opportunism, that people are uncomfortable with.
Oh, let's look at. I want to see the video and see the context.
Okay, all right.
Yes. No, so, but I'm saying that it is good for our religious welfare for political leaders like Samuel Okudzeto.
And it's always been the case.
Yes. And it should continue.
Yeah, it's always been the case.
And you see,
people admire Ghana for that.
And it should continue, and it should be reinforced.
In fact, until recent times, I have not heard any discussion in the political space like what we're having.
Yes.
It's never.
It's
never.
It's so retrogressive.
When people make that commentary, it doesn't mean that the person who is engaging with Christians and so on is doing something wrong. In fact, he's doing the right thing.
It's how you do that engagement.
He's doing the right thing.
It's how you do it.
And he should continue to do more. Because particularly at this time when we have all of this strife around
us, I'm happy.
We need it.
I'm happy as a Christian if I hear somebody says that he believes that Christ will come back and save the world. Because that's what I believe in as a Christian. So I'm happy to hear.
I want to see the
Buddhist or
Hindu
or whatever,
or a Jew.
But for people who belong to a religion who believe otherwise, they will have issues.
People can see the opportunism and the lack of sincerity.
I want to see,
and you see, it goes to character. That's
I want to see the video where you are saying, Bawumia says, this is what he believes.
Can we trust you?
I want to see.
I didn't say it's a we believe. You see it. You see it soon. Don't worry.
And the we refers to who? Bawumia.
Him and whoever is. He was saying it. He said we. Nana, if I say we, am I not included?
Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asare.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting for your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment,
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout,
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments,
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ekropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ekropon right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation, to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety, creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
Televisions, refrigerators, chest freezers, air conditioners, washing machines, smartphones, sound systems, irons, any kitchen appliances, beauty set, gas cookers, microwaves, blenders, rice cookers, kettles, air fryers, and even break home. And your Hisense Black Friday promo! On the Anabora Hisense showrooms in Yina, 23rd November, 28th November, and your 5 days, and Rena so say, who better the free Hisense, Madam Hisense, Matiti so say, who? Yes, I the 5 years manufacturer defect warranty, as a tattoo. First come, first serve. So one quantum less, Hejawa, and you know what? Hisense Black Friday promo way there. Edu Chem, and she shake a crow home. Bibiania, for Hisense, 0302 550000.
Okay. All right. Welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana, live on Metro TV. I still have Nana Kumia and Samuel Gujetua Black with me. And there are a lot of people debating the issue. And people will say that, yes, Muslims believe that Jesus Christ will return and fight the Antichrist and save the world of the Antichrist. Yes. And this is interpreted by saying Jesus Christ will return and save the world. So Dr. Bawumia was right. Okay, yes.
Then there are a lot of people also sending me messages about Dr. Bawumia mocking former President Mahama.
Yes.
You remember the Walid calling him Malam John, and that if he wants to join them, he should just convert. So you see. We really should draw the line and treat the people with respect, and know that when you go too far, we all encourage harmony, commingling, living together in unity and peace and all that. It's beautiful, and we are celebrated as a country for that. But political actors should know the line. And should not be engaging in some of this rhetoric, which is seen as opportunity. You see, always as a political activist, I always look at the feedback, the reaction to my conduct, to what I say, and that guides me moving forward. So I think that lessons should be learned. There are a lot of people who think that some of these Bawumia statements go too far. He's seeking to be opportunistic. He should just step back. His strategists should advise him that, look, all this business every now and then, Boys Brigade, I was called Thomas. This is going
but
too
if it's
far.
the truth, he must state it.
Now,
if it's the truth, I mean, we all have a history. So if it's the truth about his history, why not?
But you see, it is the context. The context. And people see that you are doing this for votes, which is not. It is not genuine. It's not seen as a trustworthy, responsible conduct. And I think that that is where people have issues with. So always analyze the feedback.
Is he doing this for votes?
Who?
Samuel Kujeto.
Is he doing what? Being prayed for votes.
Is it for
votes?
It's
by you. It's to your left. Okay. So Nana, let's quickly look at something. And then we can wrap up on that one. Okay. You saw the Achampong government and all that, and I find a latest development quite interesting. That government has decided that it wants to set up a selected strategic products import permit committee that is listed some products, and once an LI passed to set up a committee, the members of this committee will have a 3-year mandate. And if you want to import any of those 22 products, you must apply to that committee. And the committee will advise the minister on granting you a permit to be able to import those products. Well, yesterday, Parliament.
That's why you're talking about that pop tax.
Yes.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
General Achiampa was doing.
Yes.
Anyway,
it's called the Export and Import Restrictions on Importation of Selected Strategic Products Regulation 2023. And yesterday, there wasn't a showdown in Parliament. There was just a little thing.
Disagreement.
Yes, and it was stood down. The lane was stood down. I want us to watch what some of the parliamentarians said, and then I also want to speak with Guta on the issue, and I'll hear your views on this particular matter.
That the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government intends to lay. I'm sad to see a draft legislation instrument that the government intends to lay. This NPP government intends to bring an ally that will restrict import and to create what we call a committee that will give permit to a prospective importer. What this simply means is that going forward, if you want to import rice, sugar, diapers, poultry, and a number of items, approximately 22 selected items, you will need to go to the Ministry of Trade and Industry and to see a committee that will be constituted by the minister before a permit will be given to you. This, I think, is a dangerous practice. It has happened before in this country. And you recall that in 1967, a commission of inquiry was established. Justice Olenu's committee was established. And that committee was to identify the corruption and malpractices relating to import licenses. The report was clear that that practice is outmoded and it cannot be continued because people use it for the purposes of rent seeking. This government is taking us back to 1967 once again, President Akufo-Addo. I'm worried that a time will come, if you are not an MPP member, you will not even get a license to import something to this economy. That is unacceptable. Ghana is a member of the World Trade Organization. This practice, the World Trade Organization frowns upon it, and it's a clear violation of the practices of world trade and international trade, and it should not happen. We are urging His Excellency the President to have a rethink, because this is not a policy that we should encourage. Unfortunately, we all know that Article 11(7) of the 1992 Constitution placed a limitation on us as a parliament. The responsibility is on the President and the Vice President, Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, to take action on this matter. Because from what we have seen, they say that you are restricting the importation of rice. Are we producing rice in Ghana in the quantities that the ordinary Ghanaian will require to consume? Obviously no. What they have done, rather, will fuel inflation, in the sense that they will create artificial shortage. And if they create artificial shortages, the prices of these goods and services will go up. And when it goes up, it doesn't only increase inflation, but it increases the burden that it will place on the ordinary Ghanaian, and erodes the household income. So that is what they have to understand. You see, if they had created domestic production for some of these items, I will have no issue. But clearly, we know that they want to restrict sugar. But we don't have a sugar processing plant. The one that President Mahama actually constructed, this government is refusing to open it. So where is the sugar going to come from? What they are seeking to do is to create business for their supporters.
Okay, so that's the minority leader, Dr. Kesela Tufosi. I'm sure you didn't hear Nana Kumia's comment, but we have the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obin, on with us now. We'll take their perspectives on it, and then we'll get to the panel. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir, Randy.
Yes. Now, I'm sure that you've been following the issue of the LI seeking to ban the importation of 22 products, and of course, some details of the LI, the creation of a selected strategic products import permit committee. You've seen the list of 22 items. You've seen what the ministry intends ought to be done. Were you consulted in this process? Are you aware of it? What do you make of this?
I think what they normally seek is the restriction of importation. So occasionally we will have a hint that they are going to restrict us from importing certain commodities. And then when we have a hint, then we call on the ministry for them to even explain to us. When we have gotten that opportunity, we also take our advantage to also give our input as to how the whole thing should go. But as it is presented to Parliament now, I think the whole thing is hollow, because it does not even spell out the objectives of the whole policy. All that it seeks is to restrict importation, even though we support the quest of government to enhance on industrialization and enhance on our local productivity so that we can become self-sufficient. But this is not the way to go, especially when we are already not self-sufficient. We have to go side by side with importation. And then also we have to give the proper roadmaps and timelines where we will know that we are achieving something. But it does not bring out the objectives first. All that it seeks is the restriction, which does not augur well for us.
So Doc, I have the regulations here, the document. And let me read this part, which deals with the purpose of the regulations. And it's because of what you just raised. Let's see if that deals with the issues you're raising. It says that, 1, the purpose of these regulations is to A, establish a special import management mechanism for regulating and monitoring the importation of the selected strategic products set out in the first schedule for the economic development of the country. B, streamline and rationalize the import bill of the country to improve balance of payment and economic stabilization. And C, provide measures to conserve foreign exchange, safeguard critical imports, and contribute to sustainable consumption. This is what the document says,
Yeah, so Randy, what does it tell you? This is the general assumption. This is what we normally all seek. But what are the proper timelines? What are the proper roadmaps? What are the strategies that have been put in place that we can hold on to accountable? When, because if you say that we should reduce the importation of diapers, for instance, and we have just one factory of diapers in this country, what are the volumes that this company produce? And what are the volumes that the importers also bring? And so, if you do not even bring the volumes or the capacity of the local manufacturer, and then also tell us that by the year, maybe by 5 years' time, we would have gotten about 4 factories in addition to in order to meet the demands of the country. Then what are you doing? It should not be said that we just want to restrict importation and then punish the consuming public, or we just want to punish importers so that one manufacturer will have his way. What about the monopolies that are going to be created by these local manufacturers? Because it has happened before. When we try to support them, then it becomes a monopoly for them. They arbitrarily increase their prices. What rules and regulations are you putting in place that the local manufacturers are also not going to take undue advantage of this protection that we are giving? How are we going to also sustain our businesses when these local manufacturers, they appoint their own distributors? So the person who otherwise used to import his own goods cannot even have access to this manufacturer to sell his goods. So it's not that easy. You have to sit down to draw the rules and engagement of the whole thing, so that nobody will be punished as a result of this. Not the consuming public or the importers. So this is exactly what I'm trying to say. If you talk about sugar, where are we going to buy this sugar from? What volumes do we have now? What capacity do we have to produce to meet the demands of the time? Yeah, if not, what are you going to do that maybe we want to reduce this importation by 5 years? We have to attain self-sufficiency and all that. These things are all not spelled out. And then the focus is for you to limit importation without even taking into consideration the harm that it will cause to businesses, and then the harm that will cause to the consuming public. The whole thing is hollow. It doesn't stand on any foundation that will bring solutions for us.
So Dr. Obin, I'm looking at the functions of the import committee, and if I look at the proposal for the committee, you're looking at a representative of the Ministry of Trade and Industry not below the rank of a deputy minister nominated by the minister, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture not below the rank of a director, the Ministry of Finance not below the rank of a director, the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations not below the rank of a director, the Ministry of the Interior not below the rank of a director, the Bank of Ghana not below the rank of a director, the Customs Division of the GRA not below the rank of a director, the FDA not below the rank of a director, the Ghana International Trade Commission not below the rank of a director, the Association of Ghana Industries, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. This will be the composition. However, if you look at the functions of the committee, the BI says using import data obtained from the Integrated Customs Management System and local production data obtained from the Statistics Research and Information Directorate of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to track and forecast the importation, local production, and projected demand of the selected strategic products. Using the permitting system to monitor related demand for foreign exchange and the import bill. Where necessary, bridging significant projected shortfalls and price hikes by facilitating the importation of the selected strategic products. Monitoring and assessing the impact of and feedback on the implementation of these regulations, particularly on consumers, local producers and importers and retailers, and making recommendations to the minister on the matters referred to under paragraph B. You don't find this enough to deal with the issues you've raised?
Yeah, but you said we've said it on general terms, but you have to bring the actual details where it will bring the actual figures, because this one we said it in broader terms. This is exactly what you seek to do. Then you have to bring the figures, and then you bring the roadmap and the timelines. So you do not just say it on the surface and then leave the actual work behind. And the main preoccupation is to restrict the importation. So once you want to restrict, then the measures taken, the actual measures, these are the broader, this is policies that what they seek to do is what they brought. But we have to bring the actual mechanisms or measures that will actually provide the needed substitute. Now you want to substitute importation. And now if you do not put the roadmap, the timelines and all that, how do you get the substitute? And so why are you rushing to restrict? So we want to see figures and then the proper measures that will be put in place. This is all that we are saying. And then if you look at the composition, You see that they brought all other stakeholders and leave the trading community behind. They don't care about us. Because we are also necessary players, because we are already the people who are doing the importation. And so if you are not well represented, then the whole thing seems that we are doing so to spite the importing community, which is not good at all.
All right. So what's next? Are you going to engage Parliament now that they've prevented the laying of this LI and they've asked for further consultations between the Ministry of Trade and relevant parliamentary committees? What is GUTA going to do? Are you going to engage?
Yeah, Randy, I hope you all recognize that there's a need. There's a need, especially at this time, to enhance on our local productivity, how we become self-sufficient. And so it's not something that somebody is just opposing for opposing sake. But what we are saying is that we have to put the proper structures down so that the whole thing will be effective. Otherwise, it becomes the normal punishment that they give to importers, the lip service that we pay. And so we are going to lobby Parliament for them to be able to bring, to hold on, and then put the proper structures in place, proper roadmap, timelines, and then put out the relevant figures and all that, so that when we start, we can hold on to them that these are the timelines, these are the roadmaps, and that you did not just bring policy for policy's sake, or just to bring something to punish importation, because that's what people say, we do excessive importation. But then, if we want to do something to serve the generality of Ghanaians, then we have to bring the proper details, and then we all try to find a proper solution, and then we can move forward.
All right. So
even the modalities of getting these permits should be well spelled out, so that it shouldn't be an abuse, and it will be an opportunity for other people to also have their way. Because these things have come before. This is not the first time. This import permits and all that, and we know the abuses that come in, the favoritism, the nepotism, the corruption that it also brings along. So we have to look at the modalities so that nobody will take undue advantage and punish those people who are not well connected in society and all that, and then our businesses will collapse. And so we think we have a lot more to do rather than to ration the whole thing, and then it backfires, as normally our policies have backfired.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Doc, thanks for your time. We'll be tracking the issue and also following your engagements as well.
Thank you so much.
All right. So that's the president of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng. Nana, what do you make of this development?
Well, I was intrigued when you talked about Acheampong, because way back, primary school days. Yeah. So I was wondering what Acheampong had to do. But you see, if my recollection is correct, in Acheampong's time, the 1970s, the import licensing regime was because we didn't have foreign exchange. But what is being proposed now, it's to promote Ghanaian industry. So that is a slight difference.
They also add the issue of forex.
But as for forex, people source forex from their own forex. People have their own forex.
Does it provide measures to conserve foreign exchange?
Yeah, so but those days, in Acheampong's days, forex was provided
hard to come
by
by.
the aid. So anyway, what the GUTA president said gives us some food for thought. As for the minority leader, he just engaged in political talk. saying that it is to enrich some people and all of that, ascribing motives without any proof. The minority leader should not be speaking like that. And also, the Guta president too, much of what he has said, I agree, gives food for thought. But he should also not get into the business of ascribing motives, because I heard him say at some point that this is something that is somebody has something against importers. You know, you can't ascribe motives. If you say that there is a danger that this could lead to this, you are drawing attention to a potential difficulty, and that then all of us can then draw our minds to how we can prevent that difficulty. But the larger picture cannot be that somebody wants to punish importers or somebody wants to enrich cronies like the minority leader wanted us to believe. But Randy, I think the most important point that I can make on this matter is that there seem not to be communication and consultation, because such a measure, before it gets to the stage of LI, Guta should be aware, unless they were, from the impression I get from how the president is speaking, it's like they're not aware.
Yeah.
Unless they were aware and that their views were not considered, that's a different matter. But you get the impression that Guta was not consulted. And such a measure that will affect traders, I find it difficult to understand how the trading bloc was not consulted, and so that they can be aware of the larger picture and see how their businesses can also profit. Because they are traders. If they probably do not care much about where the goods they sell come from. If they are selling this cup, they want to get a cup to sell. Whether the cup is locally produced or imported, they just want to have the cup. So you need to assure them that their businesses will not be affected, and so on. And that means consultation. So for me, that's the major difficulty. And the minister would have to go back to the drawing board in terms of the consultation and so on. But clearly, Randy, there are interesting issues that come out of this. The intention is to protect Ghanaian industry, Ghanaian manufacturing. And one of the difficulties that Ghanaian manufacturing faces is importation. And when you open your markets to everything, your industry will suffer, especially when it's an industry in the early stages of development. Even the big industrialized countries, America and so on, they don't have open markets. Try exporting rice to Japan from Indonesia. You know, so when you open your markets to everything and you don't have a strong industrial base, your manufacturing will die. And we know that in terms of value addition, all of us sit here every day and say value addition. We need to add value to our cocoa. We need to add value to our gold. We need to add value to our timber. We need to add value to our cashew. You will not be able to do that fully if the market is totally open. But then you must strike a balance. See how your capacity develops and then adjust accordingly. For example, we said we're going to zero rate sanitary pads. What it means is that local production of sanitary pads would have some better breathing room, because then the taxes will be on the imported. But if the local capacity for sanitary pad is not big enough, people will be forced to buy the imports. And then what you have done is to just have raised the price of the imports, and would have raised the price for the local aid. So if the consumption of sanitary pads by our female folk is say 50 million a year, what is the local capacity? If the local capacity is 10 million, then that's another 40 million that is not met. Obviously comes from importation. If you slap a higher tariff on importation and the local people are able to do just 10 and 40 is coming, then you've raised the prices of the 40 million for everybody. So you need to be doing this importation restriction in tandem with your local capacity. And I suspect that is what the concern that is being raised.
So, Nana, you have raised an extremely important issue, and thank you for raising this issue with the PAD thing. You know that, and I'm sure you're referring to the budget.
Yes.
That so there's a 0 rating for
local
products, and there is a certain contention. There are people who think that there's no local capacity, and listening to the Guta president, he's talked about one factory. However, I also recollect that after one of the days when we have had that discussion on the sanitary part here, the Deputy Finance Minister, Mrs. Abena Asari, she called me, and then she told me that there are in fact 2 factories in Ghana that are in operation that have the capacity. That's what she told me. I mean, I'm just acknowledging that the Guta president also says otherwise, but this is what the Deputy Finance Minister told me, that there are 2 factories in Ghana. The 2 factories have the capacity to meet our needs. Okay, so for purposes of this discussion, let me take the Deputy Finance Minister's assertion. So obviously, when you 0 rate, you are making the local production more competitive.
Cheaper.
Yes, and you're even making them competitive as against the imported ones. So the issue of buying imported ones then now comes to people's preferences. And if you have a preference, a certain preference or luxury or something, you pay for it. Yeah. Now, I'm looking at that approach as against an approach where we are not looking at local capacity. And we are not using the strategy of maybe 0 rating local and then, keeping the taxes on importation to create a certain level. But what we are looking at is creating a bureaucracy of some 10 people who must determine who is qualified to import something.
Randy, so it is the methods that we are looking at. And we may have issue with the methods. But the principle, we don't have any issue. The principle of empowering local capacity and giving them better room to flourish.
The principle of doing something.
Because that is what brings the jobs and so on. And brings the, but it's the methods to achieve that. So that kind of discussion should be had with all the stakeholders. So that people will raise issue about, hey, but this method that you've put in place, maybe if we considered 0 rating, or maybe if we consider quantitative numbers, it might be better than the bureaucracy, because the bureaucracy, but those are methods that can be interrogated at the consultation level, that I believe the ministry should go, because obviously the ministry is convinced about a certain capacity. You talked about the sanitary pads. Obviously, if there was engagement with the importers, they would have been convinced that the local capacity emerges, so that the 2 of them are not speaking. These are key stakes with the ministry and the.
So if you are importing, you know that you are importing for a niche market.
Yes, or you know that if we have local capacity, then let me stock the local capacity at the price that people can buy. If I'm a trader, like I'm saying, if I'm a trader, I just want to stock stuff that people can buy. So if I don't get the local ones to buy, to stock my shop, and I have to rely on imports, and you say you're stopping the imports, then my shop will be empty. Unless you convince me that yes, the local capacity is there, and maybe you are not aware. But all will come from the stakeholder engagement. And obviously, it doesn't, from the way, even with the sanitary pass, they are talking of cross purposes. It doesn't look like the consultation was thorough. And with this one, which is another 22, I was surprised about sugar.
Yes.
Because we don't
produce neither a cube
both governments have not been able to produce a cup of sugar.
Okay. We saw some sugar.
They brought some here. They bought it out there. They brought it at the local shop. But I'm saying both governments have not been able to produce sugar. NDC and PP. We've all not covered ourselves in glory. So what is
why
sugar?
Why will you include it?
Yeah. So when I had sugar,
I'm
like, sugar, is the man sure there's sugar in the list? Is it sugar? But we don't have any capacity at all. We all know that, you know, what came out of Commander. So I'm surprised. But I'm saying that obviously, Ghanaian industry will be very happy. But you need to ensure that all the stakeholders, Ghanaian industry.
It's number 19 under the first schedule.
Sugar.
There are 22 items.
Yes.
Sugar is number 19.
So rice.
Rice
Guts, bladders, and stomach of animals. Poultry. Animal and vegetable oil. Margarine. Fruit juices. Soft drink. Mineral water. Noodles and pasta. Ceramic tiles. Corrugated paper and paperboard. Mosquito coil and insecticides. Soaps and detergents. Motor cars. Iron and steel. Cement.
You know, Randy, one second.
Yes.
See, what we need to do, and this is free advice for the ministry, my brother, Iketi. This list.
Yes.
You have to indicate rice. We import 30 million tons a year. The local capacity is 28 million tons. Yamwadie. You know, I don't take much meat, so I don't think it's an issue. But Yamwadie, this is the size of the local industry.
Yes.
This is the size of the imports. If we restrict the imports and we give a little support to local industry, we can be self-sufficient in Yamwadie. Poultry, we import 800 or 80 million chicken pieces a year. The local capacity is 10 million. Clearly, we will see that there will be a problem. I mean, all of that should be provided, item by item, to every stakeholder. Because if you are not careful, I believe that the ministry has done a lot of homework, but the necessary consultation to have that homework accepted by the stakeholders is what I believe. Even Parliament, the committee, I mean, if you're going to go through an airline, it means you must go through Parliament. So the Committee on Trade and Industry, or maybe Finance.
I heard some of the committee members say that the convention of pre-laying and others were not followed.
And I'm saying that
they were not engaged.
I'm saying that even in the formulation, in the stakeholder build-up, parliamentary committee, they have to understand it, so you don't get the minority leader saying that this is just to take some money for some people and so on. A lot of the time we create these problems ourselves, you know. So cement, I see cement here. Off the top of my head, we have 2 or 3 big cement factories. So why are we still importing cement? But what are the figures? How much do we consume? How much do the 3 or 4 produce? If we ban the imports, what would be the likely impact, or what would be the potential of these?
And in fact, for the cement producers, is their biggest problem the importation of cement or the taxes on the products that they bring? I've shown
the taxes on what?
On the raw products material. They bring.
The raw material.
Yes. So which really is their challenge? Is it the fact that people import cement here, or the taxes on the products?
And you see, Randy, in this discussion, the other thing too that we should bear in mind is import dumping.
Yes.
Which is engaging by many countries. So you go and buy this cup in China and it's being sold at $1. And then somebody imports this cup and brings it to Ghana and it's being sold at 50 cents.
Inferior quality.
No, the same quality.
Yes.
But it's 50 cents.
Okay.
How can they be the country of production, say China or whichever, is selling it at $1?
Yet.
And then they take it transport it all the way to Ghana and said at 50 cents. That clearly is dumping.
Yes.
It means the Chinese government or whoever is subsidizing
yes.
their industry. And you need to take measures to. But I'm saying it's a whole discussion that has to be had with stakeholders. Because it's one guy.
It's not about some 10 people sitting in a room and reviewing people's applications and deciding who should import and who shouldn't import.
So there's a lot of more discussion, but I can understand the new minister's passion to.
But this must be government. The minister by himself cannot.
But obviously he took it too.
Yeah, but cabinet must have agreed.
Oh, obviously,
yes.
obviously. But he will spearhead it in cabinet and so on. And because it's coming, it's just like less than a year. So I imagine that he took it to cabinet and so on. So the passion is there, and we must commend him. But this passion must be tempered by a realistic look at the figures, the consumption, the local production, and right through, and then the stakeholder engagements. Right. And I'm sure we can get started. Okay. And I would have wished that this kind of thing comes at the beginning of government.
Yes. Okay.
So that there's time to then see the related.
So the committee members have a 3-year tenure, and the licenses will be for 1 year, renewable. And you can be on the committee for 2 terms. I'm just referring to that.
Yes, I mean, there's even worse.
I love this committee.
There's even worse when you look at this draft LI. If you have you paid attention to Regulation 13 of the LI?
13.
I haven't seen any LI arrogate so much power
to a minister.
An authority to a minister. I've never seen anything like that.
I think I saw the one
13 says that regardless of what your committee, your infamous 10-member committee does, he still has. So I wonder why you set up the committee. It says 31. It says the minister may grant or refuse to grant an import permit after consideration of the written recommendation of the import permit committee.
Yes.
So all what the committee is going to do, the minister has the power.
So the committee works with the minister.
Yes, and he decides. So why set up the committee?
Finish your.
No, there's more.
2.
There's more. The minister shall, within 7 days after receipt of the written recommendation of the import permit committee, inform the applicant in writing of the decision of the minister.
3.
Where the minister refuses to approve an application for an import permit, the minister shall communicate to the applicant the reason for the refusal to grant the import permit.
End of matter.
I mean, and that is the end.
Yes.
And then, if you want to go for review, again is the minister.
Yes.
That look, even in the judiciary, you go higher from High Court to Appeal Court to Supreme Court. Let's look at Regulation 18.
Yes.
Review when you feel aggrieved.
Yes.
And you want to have the matter re-looked at. You still go and meet the same Katie Hammond.
Yes.
Review of decision. It says a person who is aggrieved by A, the refusal of the minister to I, grant an import permit, or I, renew an import permit, or B, the suspension or cancellation of an import permit by the minister, may within 14 days after the receipt of notification of the decision of the minister apply to the minister, say minister, in writing for a review of the decision of the minister. A judge in his own cause.
Yes.
So you apply to the minister for a review of the minister. Then 2, the minister shall within 14 days after receipt of an application for a review of the decision of the minister, take a decision on the application. And B, communicate the decision in writing to the aggrieved person. That's all, matter finished.
End of matter.
End of matter. Then he has offenses. If you don't comply with him, you can go to jail 1 to 2 years.
Yes.
Under Regulation 19. Katie Hammond, what is going on in this country?
No, but why this is a decision of government.
No, I listened to Nana Komia. Nana Komia said all the right things about this. And you think that he's probably an outsider.
You have been in government. A minister cannot by himself just carry this. This must have been discussed at cabinet and approved by cabinet.
It's incredible. I mean, this makes Katie Hammond even more powerful than the president.
Oh, wow.
Even within the judiciary, we don't have this total
it's
power.
It's a little excessive.
It's not a little. It is offensive. It is obscene.
To say he has more power, but you agree
it's obscene.
that to say he has more power than the president.
It's obscene. Look, look.
Yes,
on this matter. No, on this matter, he has Katie Hammond on this matter. If this thing comes into force,
if the president disagrees with him,
yes, if you are an importer, you can't even go to the president to even intervene.
You can go
unless Katie Hammond is sacked. If this is passed,
you can go,
but you still go and face the same minister.
You can go, but
and Katie Hammond will say, where did you go to? Why did you go and report to the president?
The executive secretary's letter will not overturn it.
I mean, what is this?
Obviously, some work has to be done.
This thing is so horrible.
So, has it been returned?
Yes. So we opposed it, and it was not late yesterday. Yeah, we fought it. We have served notice that we are not going to support this. And look, Nana Akomia is beating up the minority leader for saying that. Look, there are committees upon committees. We know that. Every time that you have set up a committee to regulate imports, you remember the famous one on so-called essential commodities. It ended up being a den of corruption. That's our own history. Why is it that we never learn from history? It just becomes cronyism, where people just select their favorites, businesses that are aligned to the regime, and they promote their business. Everybody else can go hang. That has been our history. In any case, look, all of the things that have been listed here, what the trade minister must do first is to tell us what is the trade ministry doing under his watch to enhance local capacity. That's what you do first. As I speak to you, do you know that rice production in Aveime, which is one of our country's biggest rice production hubs, do you know it has come to a halt because of the floods? The major irrigation pump, the whole irrigation setup was submerged, and all the machines are destroyed. Ask me if any of the ministers has even visited to look at the collapse of rice production in Aveime. What are we doing about that?
Has Katie Hammond been there?
He has not been there.
How do you know?
Because I know I'm always on the ground. You know that. I'm there every day.
Are you on the ground?
Oh, please. I'm going there right after here. He hasn't been there.
He's there with them in spirit.
You know, maybe he arrived now. But why should he come after? Why should he come after drafting this airline? Why? What are you doing about rice production? Joapon Textiles is another factory in my constituency, which is collapsing. They used to be employing over 1,200 people. Now there are less than 200 workers at Joapon Textiles. What are you doing to revive the local textile industry? Textile has been listed here. How is the cronyism that you are going to do? Select a few of your favorite businesses that you are the champion, the emperor of all that you survey.
Well, the last time
and even review will come to you.
It was Nana who was telling somebody, I don't think it was you, about the PDC days when bread. Yes. They had to monitor the sale of the bread.
It was classified as an essential commodity.
And the deals and everything.
You know, what has he done as trade minister to revive all of these industries that have collapsed under his watch? So I am not convinced that this is to boost any local production. People just want to create another looting opportunity. That's all.
This committee there.
I mean, and you give, of course, because that's our history and that's the fact. And why give yourself so much if you have nothing to hide? If you don't, you are not creating a very dubious.
Incidentally, I've looked at the qualification criteria. I don't qualify for the committee.
Or you like to be part.
And then you've seen the membership. The chair must either be him or his deputy. Everything is about him in this thing. When you read this regulation, I've never seen something so horrible.
All right, let's go.
Please, this country is not for Katie Hammond. And the earlier they throw this into the dustbin, the better.
All right,
they should throw it away.
But that's why they bring it to Parliament. So you modify it.
No, we don't want to. We will not even entertain it.
We go through pre-lay.
We will not even entertain it.
Even airline, you can't
entertain it.
You know, so that's why they said they set up that pre-lay.
You see, the condition that was
so that they can look at
the things that you do to boost local production has not been done. Look, Commander Sugar Factory. You try to put all of us in the same basket, but at least one administration tried to set up a factory. What have you done?
I say let's even juxtapose in the same budget.
You cannot even revive Commander Sugar Factory, which was all but
in the budget of 2024.
It was a new factory.
In the budget of 2024, even if you disagree with the issue of the sanitary pads, juxtapose that strategy as against this.
Exactly, against this. This Katie Hammond empire that he is trying to create. I mean, please.
Anyway, Juliet Fafa Atipo, today is your birthday, one of our ardent viewers, and she's one of Desi the Starboy's biggest fans, Juliet Fafa Atipo. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Fafa. It's also your birthday, Mrs. Cindy Awuku, from your husband, Bobby Awuku, Seke, and your children, Sonia, Kelvin, and Fadi. So happy birthday to you, Mrs. Cynthia Awuku and Juliet Fafa Atipo. Gentlemen, thanks.
No, I'm wondering if, there's a forum within the MPP where they at least advise each other. Okay. Because when you listen to Nana Komia
if any of you is around,
do you advise Katie Hammond?
He didn't show it to me.
Kandeshi. I'm inviting you to the Faith Cathedral.
Attempt to create intra-party.
I'm inviting you guys. If you're this evening to the Faith Cathedral.
It's important.
Faith Cathedral. The last time you invited us to some gig.
Which one?
Some chap had come from England or so. He said he was organizing a gig somewhere, and you railroaded us to go.
This one.
And you were not present.
This one, I'm the keynote speaker, so I'm asking you to come. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the church.
And what is the theme?
The theme is the golden cycle of God's grace. The church is 50 years old.
50 years, okay.
And the founder of the church is passed. He passed on 6 years ago. So there's a Bishop Rex Noy Memorial Lecture. This is the inaugural one.
Okay.
And
you are a keynote speaker.
So the chair of the thing is Bishop Taki Aboy of the Victory Bible Church.
Okay.
And then Chief Bishop Halley, who is the Chief Bishop of the church there. And I'm a pioneer of the Sunday school of the church.
Once Katie Hammond will not be there, I'll come.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate Toothpaste. Wow. I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calcates. Happy smile.
Hello Ghana, KNUSC ISWAM, Republic Welfare Limited, a subsidiary of Republic Bank Ghana, presents Women in Business Conference. Are you a young woman entrepreneur with a small business or medium-scale business? You can't miss this amazing program coming up at Cafe Banoa Jowulua Crown on the 30th of November 2023, 9 a.m. sharp. Learn about loan financing, access to loans. All these benefits await you. Don't miss this amazing opportunities. Investment is a cool 1,000 Ghana cedis. Covers all course materials, coffee break, lunch, networking. See you there.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and cover the makers in
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Wachi Hospital Junction. Sakrani. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
Good Morning Ghana is brought to you by MTN.